Good morning, APW Nation. Today is Saturday, May 24th, 2014. I've been asked to issue an apology to you by the Board of Regents, which I humbly agree with, and I'd like to do it at this time. First of all, as you see behind me is Dr. Death Steve Williams, a picture from him back in 2008. It was a glorious, glorious day, that April 28th, and he is a great man, and I will ever be indebted for him. Anyway, dear APW Nation, thank you very much, fans, friends, family, and community members and sponsors for your attention and time today on this beautiful morning here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Every day is always an important day for me in the APW brand, but today specifically, it is an unusual and I think unusually important day today. As all of you know, APW Executive Chairwoman Gretchen Candy Kane is coming to the May 31st SmackDown Cancer Show to address the entire red envelope situation. As such, I may not quite be as easy with my words today as I have been in the past. Now, first I want to say to all of you that, as you might imagine, I have been on quite a journey these last few months to get to the end of this red envelope indiscretion, and to the rock bottom truth of where I am and where all are. I agree with those who have said that I should have exposed the contents of the red envelope sooner. But the contents in that envelope were some of the most awkward and embarrassing, as well as insensitive and indiscreet, although fuzzy and inconclusive images that I had ever seen. But, and for that delay, without giving full disclosure to you, the fan, and the APW Nation, I humbly apologize. Plainly, I don't think there is a fancy way to say this to you, but I have basically messed up. I say unto you to please listen to me today through these 4 pages with mercy, grace, and love, that the misbehavior of which I will speak and its contents in the red envelope is not a present wrongdoing. It is a past, one-time only transgression. I know that so many in the APW Nation had asked, why, Cujo? I have asked myself that 10,000 times through 10,000 tears. Maybe Cujo has tried to live his entire life as though he were not human. I am human indeed. I ask that you please find it in your heart to forgive my imperfections. I have many, and in spite of them, I love APW, the APW Nation, and you, the fan. And I am proud of everything that I had done over the last 15 years in the professional wrestling industry, which should not be tarnished by this remorseful act of uncontrollable desire by Cujo. Likewise, it is important to me that everybody who had been hurt in APW by this red envelope to know that the sorrow I personally feel is real. First and most importantly, to my family, also to my friends, my staff, the APW talent and their families, and everyone, and particularly Onyx and her family. I have asked all of them for their exoneration, but I believe that to be legitimately forgiven, more than unadulterated sorrow is required. I yearn for your comprehensive understanding of the soon-to-be revealed appalling contents that are inside that red envelope. Excuse me. It is unambiguous to what is in that red envelope. It is unequivocally and categorically distasteful, clearly litigious, and completely shocking. Youthful indiscretions at the least. Lack of common sense to me and by me at its zenith. The envy that Onyx and I shared with fervor will forever be in vain. But we are not alone in this sea of indignity. Thus, by protecting the other APW players that this red envelope affected, I did what I thought was right to protect the integrity of the APW brand and acquiesced to the demands of the cruel and nasty Johnny Starr. I did this so that the APW brand and product would continue to operate in an effective manner. A house divided against itself cannot stand. If this leadership approach during this time of crisis was wrong, I again apologize to you. But it was a decision that I felt was the best at the time. In light of all the personal misfortune and the alleged evidence, even if it was attained illegally, as presented to me by Johnny Starr. Let me say, as you know, true leadership means accepting responsibility for one's actions, regardless of how one views such evidence. I will not blame anyone, and I accept full responsibility. For those who Cujo has hurt, the facts speak for themselves. I am accountable, responsible, and I strive for excellence. I take risks all in the best interest of APW, be it booking great talents like the Nature Boy Paul Lee, Lou Doc Gallows, my dear close friend the cowboy Jeremy Young, or even the late Dr. Death Steve Williams. I have done everything I can in the best interest of APW. For more than 15 years I've done this. Yes, I have failed at some instances, and I have failed again. I am not perfect, and I've also messed up over the years. With my most recent blunder, that red envelope. I say to you, he without sin, let them cast the first stone. Yet no matter what, good or bad, I will never be indecisive. And again, I accept all responsibility of the contents of that red envelope. I'm trying, Stephen. Thank you. Stephen Fest is here with me. Thank you. He's my healer. This is hard. Anyway, but I make no mistake, I would still never ever do what too many in the wrestling world, from promoters and wrestlers alike, do on a regular basis to insult your intelligence, APW Nation and fan. Basically, they openly advance dishonesty and disrespect of our great industry. This includes, but is not limited to, the blatant neglect of the APW brand and its fans for their own selfish agenda. Those who overtly fail to help with the ring setup, breakdown, and production, have they no shame? Those who overtly fail to help, those who need teaching, why won't they? Those who don't have proper gear and front as a wrestler by pontificating trickery. Those who so-called think they're Christians and front in a clandestine manner to avoid local, state, and federal laws, which cheapen the sport. And to the many that fit the media's quasi-inaccurate portrayal of pro wrestlers being poorly educated, trashy, and slime, have they no decency? I would never do such a thing. And there are more indiscretions from these sham artists, some who have contents in that red envelope. Many are unreliable to the point that they even claim to get sick or put, quote, family first at the last minute, affecting everyone at the show, especially you, the fan. There are many who have poor hygiene, smell like a yak, present repulsive appearance with crooked teeth. Oh, I would never, ever do that to you, the fan. Many have never drawn a dime, nor put enough asses in seats to cover their coveted pay, but they think they are the greatest thing since sliced bread. They don't understand psychology. They bump for no rhyme or reason, and they don't have an understanding of the suspension of disbelief. It's about sincerity, and I'm being sincere to you today. There are way too many wrestlers in their 20s and 30s, even their 40s and their 50s, who are flat broke, deadbeat dads, possess a criminal record, and candidly don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out, and they claim to be professional wrestlers. They cannot accept the frank reality that they will never, and I mean never, be anything in the wrestling business. ever. I've invested a glut of energy, time, and resources to do anything to advance this sport. I've promoted, booked, written books, been in creative, all for you, the fan. In my 15 plus years, I've only missed one show due to food poisoning, even neglecting my family, my friends, and social events because I respected the business and those in it. I'm a man that is educated, a professional, with goals and objectives. I'm a steward of and engaged in the community, trilingual, and a family man of faith. A wrestler with a pedigree and a lineage, with friends like Jeremy Young, Ted DiBiase, and Tito Santana. Sorry. Thus, on May 31st, everyone will learn about the contents of the red envelope. This is a fact. Also, we know that the executive committee chairwoman, Kane, is coming to Statesboro. This is fact number 2. And what does it all mean for me and APW? First, I've done everything in my power to mount a vigorous defense against these allegations. But legal language must not obscure the fact that I have done wrong. Second, I will continue on the path of atonement, seeking certified support and that of other caring people so that they can hold me accountable for my own promises. I have verbally and in written format swore this to Mrs. Kane, to Board of Regents Stephen Festa, to the entire board, the APW talent, and above all, the exploited, the used, and victimized Onyx. Third, I will intensify my efforts to lead APW toward its goal of God, community, and tradition, in the hope that with a broken spirit and a strong heart that I can be used for a greater good, for we in APW have so many challenges ahead and so much more work to do. And if I haven't yet, nor will I in the future ever throw anyone else who is part of this humiliation under the bus, I take responsibility. In the words of the great Confucius, attack the evil that is within yourself rather than attacking the evil that is in others. In this, as such, I am the leader of APW. I ask for your support and for your help in the healing. Help the locker room, help the talent, and help the brand. And though I cannot move beyond or forget this, indeed, I must always keep it as a caution light in my life. It is very important that APW moves forward no matter what. Now, I am very grateful for the many people, from the Board of Regents to Stephen Festa to Cowboy Keith to Bob Marsh, to all the friends and family and APW alike that have spoken and written to me with wise direction. I am profoundly appreciative for their help because through it all, they have stood by me. This is hard, guys. You know I care about APW a great deal and the direction and the mission of APW. I'm obliged for those who have stood by me and who say that in this case the bounds of privacy have been excessively and unwisely invaded by the immoral, the sinister, the disgusting Johnny Starr and his spiteful cohorts who are working against me. This may indeed be true, and I know he is. However, in this case, it may be a blessing, because I still failed, and I have come up short to the expectations of APW, my family, the APW nation, and more importantly, myself. I accept this, and I have truly expressed regret. And if my atonement is genuine and sustained, and if I can maintain both a broken spirit and a strong heart, then good can come of this for me and APW as well. The boys and girls of APW, which Cujo'S stands for, can also learn in a profound way that integrity is important and selfishness is wrong. But adversity can change each and every one of us and make us strong at the broken places such as my heart. I want to embody those lessons for the children of the APW Nation. For that little boy from Rankin who came up to me after the May show in Rankin and said he wanted to grow up and be a wrestler and a community servant just like me. The kid, he was amazing. I'll never forget him. Anyway, I want the parents of all children in the APW Nation to be able to say to their children, to Kid Campers Dante, Hollywood, Macho Kid, Pink Eagle, AK-47 and others, that adversity makes us stronger. In the words of A.A. Arn Anderson, adversity introduces a man to himself. As we all know, adversity introduces not only a man to himself, as A.A. said, but it causes some men to break and others to break records. I want APW to break records. Excuse me. A couple of days ago, when I was being healed by Stephen Festa of the APW Board of Regents and guided by my good friend Cowboy Keith during some counseling, a Jewish friend of both of them in attendance gave me this liturgy book called The Gates of Repentance. And there was this incredible passage from the Yom Kippur liturgy. I would like to read it to you. Now is the time for turning. The leaves are beginning to turn from green to red to orange. The birds are beginning to turn and are heading once more toward the south. The animals are beginning to turn to storing their food for the winter. For leaves, birds, and animals, turning comes instinctively. But for us, turning does not come so easily. It takes an active will for us to make a turn. It means breaking old habits. It means admitting that we have done wrong. It means starting all over again. And this is always painful. It means saying I'm sorry. It means recognizing that we have the ability to change. These things are terribly hard to do. But unless we turn, we will be trapped forever in yesterday's ways. Lord, help us turn from callousness to sensitivity, from hostility to love, from pettiness to purpose, from envy to contentment, from carelessness to discipline, from fear to faith. Turn us around, O Lord, and bring us back toward you. Revive our lives at the beginning and turn us toward each other. Lord, for in isolation there is no life. I will not be isolated. I will turn myself around. I thank my friends Stephen and Keith for being there for me, as well as that friend for giving me a copy of that book. I thank you, the APW Nation, for being here and standing by my side. I ask you to share my request for forgiveness and understanding, and to know my heart. Try me and know my anxious thoughts, and help lead me toward unending APW success. I ask you support me and join me as I bring a new day in APW, and give me a clean heart. Let me walk by trust and not sight. As Miss Kane makes her way to the May 31st SmackDown Cancer Show at DNR Intensive Care, and no matter what her decision will be pertaining to the contents of the red envelope, and the heartache that it has caused me and many others in APW, especially to the appealing yet innocent Onyx, I ask you once again to forgive me for my youthful indiscretion. Please show me love as I love the APW Nation. All the talent, I beg for your forgiveness, from Adonis to the San Francisco Treat, to Mr. P, to the sponsors such as Ray Driggers and Tommy Lennon of First Franklin Financial, to everyone, especially John Love of Country Financial, and most importantly to you, the APW Nation, as well as myself. Help me become a better instrument for APW's tranquility. Once again, I deeply apologize. I have disgraced you, the APW Nation, and I have brought dishonor and humiliation and embarrassment upon you. I beg for your forgiveness. Please forgive me for bringing shame against you. I have sinned against thee, and I beg you to forgive me. This is what I wanted to say to you this morning, to you, the APW Nation, on this Memorial Day weekend. Thank you. I love you. And may God bless America, Quebec, yourself and family, everyone in APW, and the APW Nation. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.